Hello and welcome to this episode of Dil Se with Kapil Sibal. I'm Nidhi Razdan, and what an episode this promises to be, because we are just hearing the news about the assembly election results. 3-1 for the BJP in the four crucial states of Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Telangana. Yes, the Congress has a silver lining in Telangana, but the defeat of the Congress in the Hindi heartland states and the BJP's massive victory has huge implications for the Lok Sabha elections, which are just months away. Let's go straight to Mr. Sibal to dissect these results. There's so much to talk about, Mr. Sibal. Firstly, did the extent of the BJP's victory surprise you?
Yeah, it did, certainly did. Certainly, in the context of Madhya Pradesh, it did. I never imagined. Chhattisgarh too, but much more in Madhya Pradesh.
Now, if you look at, we've had time to look at some of the data. The Congress has actually retained its vote share or marginally increased it in Madhya Pradesh, in Rajasthan, slightly declined in Chhattisgarh. Whereas the BJP's vote share, for example, in Madhya Pradesh has gone up by 7-8%. Now, why do you think that has happened? How is the BJP able to expand its base and the Congress is not?
See, Nidhi, it's like this. And we should learn something from animals. Even in the animal world, you will find that animals work in coalition. When ants move, there's a leader and everybody flocks around and they work. When lions attack, they attack as a pack. They know what to do, when to do, how to do. But we haven't learned from the animal world because political parties never want coalitions. They always want to do it their own way. And this is where political parties lose out. You see, if you talk of the BJP and the opposition parties, there is no comparison. BJP is in power. BJP uses agencies. They have over 5,000 crores of electoral bonds. The kind of money power they have, you cannot match. The media is collaborating with them. So what BJP does, you cannot do. So what you have to do as a political party is to start building coalitions. Where are the NGOs? What are the aspirations of people in that particular community? What we do in politics, and I've seen that over many, many years, is that we work only with our workers. Politics is not about working with your workers. It's about
reaching a crowd, reaching out.
Working with others. Now you have to identify those others. In the course of elections, before elections or in course of elections, we don't even try to identify. The result is that those who are out of the political system, you do not reach them. So if the tribals come, if some section of the tribals come and they want to meet you, you don't meet them because you think that you will win the election on your own. What the BJP does, it doesn't even have to work in coalitions. They can distribute money. They can use other kinds of means to do things. They can reach out to people. They've got the machinery. They've got the connectivity. They've also got the campaign. So I think one of the biggest mistakes, and that's the nature of politics, is changing. If you want to fight an election, you must reach out to non-political people. Political people will support you because they are wedded to you. But the coalitions that are necessary to win an election are absent.
Let me break this down into two parts. One is what the BJP did right, and two is what the opposition did wrong, the Congress in particular. Now, in terms of what the BJP did right, apart from the fact that is the obvious, which is about money power and media power and agencies, etc., the fact is that Mr. Modi remains very popular personally, especially in the Hindi heartland. They have got this sort of deadly combination of Hindutva, nationalism and welfareism, which they've sort of successfully sold to people. Now, is that something that you think puts them in pole position?
That's not true. I think what Baghel did in Chhattisgarh, the welfareism, and the fact that we have retained our vote percentage. I mean, the opposition parties, wherever they were fighting, retained.
It's gone down in Chhattisgarh slightly.
Well, maybe by 1% or something like that. But you gained in.
But the tribals abandoned the Congress.
Therefore, that means you're retaining your vote percent, which is 41%, which is not bad. Right, which means that Modi is not such a charismatic figure that the committed people to the Congress party are not voting for you. So there's something wrong that you are doing. right? It's not just Modi and his charisma.
But
and
obviously,
welfare
there's
politics.
something that Modi is doing right if their vote share goes up by 8% in Madhya
That's
Pradesh.
because, as I said, there are other means by which they can reach out to those people. They've also got the official machinery with them. So therefore, I don't think that that's a good analysis.
No, but-
The tribals, why would the tribals vote for them unless we reached out to the tribals?
No,
We
but the
reached out to
tribals
them.
didn't vote for the Congress in Chhattisgarh.
That's what I said. Why
Yeah.
did it vote for Modi? If
Yeah.
we had reached out to we assumed that they would vote for us. We assumed I know for a fact that
No, but even to be the devil's advocate here, even when the machinery has been with the BJP, let's say in Karnataka, when they were at power, it didn't work for them. They lost. They couldn't retain Karnataka.
They couldn't retain Karnataka
So
for the simple.
it's not just that. Isn't there a positive messaging somehow that they're
Look,
able to convey?
They couldn't retain Karnataka because of the huge anti-incumbency because of the
Corruption and so on,
and
yeah.
all that, the 20%, 30%, 40% sarkar, right? And therefore people were fed up. But of course, they won in the urban areas, but in the rural areas they lost. And we had very charismatic leaders in the state. We had charismatic leaders which won us that election.
But the question I come back to
Siddaramaiah
is,
and Shiv Kumar won us that election.
Does the
Revant won us that election on his own. Because he fought on the ground. As far as Chhattisgarh is concerned, he was able to, almost retain his vote share. But something happened, obviously, and we don't know. It's very difficult to analyze what happened. But the fact of the matter is that at some stage, political parties must move out. And this is going to happen to the BJP as well in times to come. We must move out and start looking at sections of society that we haven't reached out to. Looking at coalitions that we must make.
okay, so then let me ask you this. One of the big campaign planks of the Congress this time was, let's have a caste census. It didn't work because data now is showing that a large number or section of OBCs actually voted for the BJP.
That's right. They've been voting for the BJP even before.
Even before, but
Yes.
they continue to do that and in big numbers this time also. Why do you think that happened?
The announcement of a caste census is not going to turn people to vote for you. I think this is bad politics. If you think that merely because you've announced a caste census, they're going to vote for you.
Then what should they have done?
Take, for example, Mizoram. So in Mizoram, the MNF lost badly, right? And we didn't get a seat.
Once.
And the other section actually came to Delhi to talk to us. We never spoke to them. They are now in majority. They won, and it's led by a bureaucrat. That's the example I'm giving you of lack of foresight. You say, look, ex-chief minister or ex-chief minister or this leader of my party is very strong. It won't win you the election. Unless that leader is actually on the street like Revant Reddy. It won't win you the election.
Do you think?
Your speeches won't win you the election. It's work in the background that's going to win you the election.
But do you think it was a mistake for the Congress not to have a seat sharing arrangement with India bloc allies for these assembly elections? Would it have made a difference?
It's like this. I'm not going to blame anybody, Congress or anybody. Fact is, when I talk about coalitions, what do I mean? It means exactly that. That when somebody is reaching out to you and you know that in that area, you don't have a strong candidate or you've been losing that particular seat for years to come, what's the harm? After all, see, today across borders, because of migration, take for example Delhi, the demographics of Delhi has changed. The basis on which you could win Delhi parliamentary seats has entirely changed because there is huge migration that is taking place. Population from UP, population from Bihar, that impacts the seats. This is true also of other border areas, which the states of Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, where there are border areas and populations move. So people do have influence. And then it symbolizes that you're all working together.
So that it was a mistake. The Congress shut its doors on, say, Akhilesh Yadav in Madhya Pradesh. It was a very ugly spat that they had in public.
I don't want to comment on that. Point is that, look, at this point in time, we shouldn't be looking at why A said this or B said this.
But you learn from history.
The learning
or you are doomed to repeat it.
Learning is, don't look at yourself alone. Look at others, build bridges, talk to others, see where you are weak, see where you could be strong. Send a narrative. You don't have a narrative. Merely because you say you should have a caste census doesn't mean you have a narrative.
So that brings...
What is your narrative?
Exactly. So this brings me back to the fact that was it or has it been a consistent mistake, particularly by the Congress, to focus only on Narendra Modi and his government's mistakes? We had a discussion about this before as well, that you need to also give people an alternate vision. You have to give them something about what your vision for the country is. Now, is that what is lacking in the opposition fight?
Again, you see, I think again we are making a mistake. Your vision depends on the vision of the constituents who are going to vote or not vote for you.
Right.
Right? Which means you have to reach out to them.
Yeah.
Just a blanket vision is not going to happen. For each particular parliamentary constituency, you have to have a plan. Find out what elements in that constituency may support you. Find out who the NGOs are. Reach out to them, talk to them, bring them over. Your workers, ask your workers to do that job instead of going around and garlanding you and going from place to place and then slogan. That's not going to work. Today,
I'm saying Modi bashing alone also doesn't work, does it?
When I'm saying what I'm saying, for me, I need not even answer your question. I am saying that what we need to do is build a narrative. You can build a narrative against a person. For example, you built a narrative against the BJP in Karnataka. Why? Because that's a 40% sarkar. So that is a good narrative. But you can't win India by attacking an individual. You cannot win India.
Also, I think, let's face it, he is a very popular leader, like I said. At the moment, he's Teflon. He's Teflon coated. So, criticism against Mr. Modi, personal attacks on him don't work.
I don't know whether he's Teflon or not. If he were Teflon, then we wouldn't have retained our vote percentage. I don't agree there. I think he's just his machinery. His machinery is Teflon.
No, look, there is a narrative that they build very successfully.
You give me a media. The media, supposing you
is that a mistake?
To
underestimate his popularity amongst voters?
I'm not saying anything about it. Of course he's popular, there's no doubt about it. But tell me, give me a media that's on my side. Give me 5,000 crores. Give me every day a platform to speak on. I'll become popular.
Is there no way around it for the opposition? Let's say, we know what the state of TV channels is, but you have YouTube now, you have social media. It's a very democratic space.
That's correct.
So are they using it?
That's why we won. It's not as we have lost all elections. We won elections. We won it against the BRS. We won it against in Karnataka. Before that also we have won. We won last year these elections. So it's not just that he's not beatable. Of course he's beatable. But the point is that if you do not do the right thing, you are defeating yourself.
How significant do you think it is that today the Congress... Look, the Congress is still the pan-India opposition party.
You keep talking about Congress. I don't want to talk about political party.
But there's a reason for that. It's still, in 180 plus Lok Sabha seats, it's a direct BJP-Congress fight. So the opposition can't hope to win an election next year if the Congress doesn't cross at least 100, right?
Absolutely.
Now, the fact that the Congress in the north of India, which is very significant electorally for parliament, is only in Himachal Pradesh at the moment and has been sort of routed in the Hindi heartland states. How significant is that for the road to 2024?
It is significant unless we get our act together, or rather the Congress party gets its act together. Of course it's significant.
What do they need to do?
But the question is they can get their act together.
How?
First of all, as I said, if you're in Haryana, you've got a mood where people of Haryana are against the present government. You can win Haryana, but again you have to have coalitions, you have to have partners out there. They are going to polarize Haryana also. Rajasthan also fine. You've got about 60, 70 seats, it's fine. But the fact of the matter is you have space in Rajasthan also. Gujarat, it may be a little difficult, but you have some leaders in Rajasthan who can sort of get you some seats.
You think
in Madhya Pradesh too. Madhya Pradesh, in fact, you can get more seats because the mood in Madhya Pradesh, and I'm a little surprised, when the postal ballots came out in Madhya Pradesh, out of 230 constituencies, in 200 constituencies, the Congress was leading in the postal ballots.
Which is very unusual.
Which is a margin of 21%. But ultimately, we lost by 9%. Now, what are these postal ballots? Government servants? Army personnel?
And they traditionally go with the BJP.
We traditionally go, which means that army personnel are not happy, which means government servants are not happy. So you have a coalition there. How did you lead for 21%, which means that people are unhappy. Now you've been able to, without campaigning, they have voted for you. Without campaigning, these are postal ballots. If you were to actually reach out to these kind of people, you'll get that support. The point is, you can't be centered only on your leaders.
You think they have some bad advisors?
I'm not here to. The other thing is they have no spokespersons.
No, they have pretty combative spokespersons now in the media.
Spokespersons who are recognized in the country. They don't have them.
Let me ask you this: what do you think the impact?
And I don't mean a party.
You mean the opposition as a whole?
The opposition needs a space.
But what is the impact of this going to be on the India alliance? As you and I are sitting here, a meeting that Mr. Kharge had called of India bloc leaders has been already postponed to the third week of December. Okay, the knives were out on the day of the result itself. The smaller parties were unhappy with the way the Congress treated them. Is this going to make the Congress's position more difficult within the India alliance? Do you worry that the opposition alliance will not even last?
No. The opposition alliance will cement. Just the opposite.
The opposite, why?
Just for the reason because everybody realizes that it will be doomsday if they do not get together, if they do not fight together, if you don't have a proper narrative. They don't even have a core committee to deal with elections. We are 4 months down the road. You're going to be having the elections will be announced in March. They'll be over by May, early May. You don't even have a core committee to deal with these issues. And all the time we are trying to figure out who will get what and who will not get what. I mean, this is unfortunate. I mean, we need these people to get down to business. And not just get down to business, the business of actually making coalitions.
And
working together. As I said, learn from the animal world if you can't learn from anywhere else.
But it's interesting you say that you believe that the opposition will actually strengthen. It doesn't look like that at the moment. It seems to be floundering.
So I'm absolutely certain about that.
So last question, Mr. Sibal. Is 2024 a done deal?
No.
Is Modi coming back?
No, it's not a done deal. What's a done deal is the media will still be with them. What's a done deal is that they'll still have a lot of money. What's a done deal is they'll do whatever they can, both in the book and outside the book to win the election. But we have to fight them. And I don't think it's a done deal that they will come back to power.
Well, interesting because I don't quite share that assessment as of today. Let's see how things unfold between now and the next 6 months. Mr. Sibal, thanks very much for your insights. Thank you.
Thank you.